What is up, YouTube? NYKia31 here, going around the league playing Tampa 2 style football. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons. I have a couple of Atlanta Falcons videos. In the other one, I will go more into detail as to who I have on the field, where and why. But in this video, I'm going to talk about defense in general. And some of you, or many of you out there, are probably going, defense? What are you talking about, NYKia? There is no defense. Well, I ain't gonna lie, defense is not an easy thing to play. The offense has a lot of advantages. Lots and lots of advantages. No doubt about that. While on the defensive side of the ball, we're pretty much left with the same old in order to counter all of the bright, shiny new toys that the offense has. And then combined with a rough around the edges, read and react AI, funky things happen. We all know what they are. Here's the thing about this game. Can you apply realistic, football savvy X's and O's to the game and have success? Yes, you can. I play a Tampa 2 style. I try to replicate the Tampa 2 scheme, which is a favorite of mine, as best as I can. And I can get pretty close, but again, it's also a video game. There are adjustments that I have to make in order to make it work that, you know, I would like to not have to do, but realistically, given the fact that it is a video game, there are things that need to be done. I'll occasionally drop one or two defensive linemen into hooks or spies or what have you, things like that when situation calls for it. There are things from a user control aspect that need to be done, but, you know, overall, there are things you can do to at least give yourself a fighting chance to play defense. Now, when I say play defense in this game, if you're someone who wants to play like the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, that ain't gonna happen. And if you continue to try to have that expectation, all you're going to do is frustrate yourself. So you need to get that thought out of your mind. This game is not about beating people 10-3, 17-10, 14-13. This game is about, first and foremost, having as efficient and mistake-free offense as you possibly have, or can have, executing it as well as you can, not committing turnovers, and getting the game to a point where you pretty much have your opponent in a one-dimensional, predictable mode.
Good job. Looking to go up top again on first down.
Here I am playing one of the typical online style of ranked defense. If you're just mindlessly calling cover 1 and cover 0 blitzes, you're going to get torched all over the field. There's just too many ways to undress that kind of defensive style. In my point of view, the best chance of playing defense that gives you a chance to win and to a chance to the best chance to slow down the offense is, first and foremost, identifying where you feel comfortable usering, and then getting as good as it as you possibly can, whether it be controlling a defensive lineman, controlling a safety, controlling an MLB. Find some place you feel comfortable using, and then get proficient at it so that you don't feel like you're getting yourself, you know, constantly undressed. Now, the only way to get good at it is to play. And while you're doing that, you're probably going to take some L's, and you're probably going to get beat. Even when you do get good at it, you're going to get beat. But it's going to give you the best chance towards taking something away. It's impossible to stop everything. What you want to do is form in your mind a plan of attack to take away what you want to take away. For example, when I'm in man coverage, what I want to do first and foremost is to cut off all inside routes. In my pre-snap adjustments, I try to pre-snap as many defenders as I can or have time to shade to the inside of the receivers and deny inside releases. I want to make curls, slants, ins, drags as hard to throw as possible. And then I have 2 deep safeties audibled wide for any routes that break wide. When I play zone, I want to take away the curl flat, I want to take away the out, I want to protect the deep middle. And then from there, adapt and adjust based on what my opponent wants to take and their tendency. If they're going to be forcing the ball into the strength of what I want to take away, I'm going to do very well. If they have a brain and they adapt, they take the outside throw in man coverage. If I'm shading inside, then I have to adapt. One of the more common adjustments I find myself making in man coverage is shading the slot receivers from the wide side to the outside to cut off the corner and the out like that. There I have the guy positioned right, but the ball somehow gets through. That's going to happen in Madden at times. Sometimes you'll have the right situation dialed up, but the game bails out your opponent. Shake it off, move on to the next play.
Shotgun, looking for interception.
Like right there. Inside leverage, he tried to hit that quick curl, and he's right there to cut it off. You have a much better chance of making that route harder to throw, harder to complete when you inside leverage out to the outside. The corner will be in a better position to break it up, to draw the ball loose or jump the pass. And then you can mix in purple zones to your blitzers and defensive linemen and things like that. But once you get good at user controlling, and I'm not great at user control, I'm probably average, but I'm good at least holding my ground, you'll find that that'll make a huge difference in how your defense is playing, because you're going to be able to play, for example, deep safety without those stupid read and react false steps that can cause problems. Even if you can get yourself to a point where you're just playing your assignment properly, that will improve your defense by leaps and bounds. And then when you get to that next level where you're able to anticipate route combinations, you're going to find yourself making those game-changing INTs, which is what these games come down to. You know, how many times do you find yourself, you know, in that type of game where one guy or the other makes, you know, that game-changing big hit or that game-changing INT and wins the game 28-24. That's what turns games in Madden. And then once you have that down, as far as your user control and what you want to take away, another aspect that I feel is very important is making pre-snap individual adjustments to pass rushers and blitzers. Now, I'm not someone who advocates maximum coverage defense. The fewest guys I'll ever have rushing is 2. There are plays in the playbooks that are designed like that, so I feel there's no problem in doing that. You want to mix up and combine that kind of stuff to create combination coverages that are part man, part zone, part man.
That little wiggle just left the defender standing there.
And that was just a sick play. And you want to drop people into those areas that guys like to throw to. For example, if I have a man-zero blitz called, I'll have either an outside blitzer or an outside pass rusher or both purple zoned to cover the curl flat. If it's a run, I still get the run coverage out of the man blitz. If it's a pass, I at least have some protection for those outs and curls. And if the defender is really athletic, maybe even the deep corner. In zone, same thing. When I'm in Tampa 2, sometimes I need to drop a defensive tackle or defensive end into coverage. And sometimes I'll user him or let him do his thing by himself. Or drop someone into a spy. Or drop a guy into a spy and hook somebody else.
It's got a little bit of daylight.
You just want to make those throwing lanes as hard to negotiate as possible. And here, this is your typical online lobby player mentality. Guys getting blasted and he's showboating after giving up 40 points through 3 quarters with one of the better defensive teams in Madden. So that's my little take on giving yourself the best chance of playing decent defense in the game. And here he's done. He pretty much did next to nothing on offense outside of one drive. He scored one offensive touchdown and needed kick returns for his other points. So I did a pretty good job, I would say. So that is that for this vid. I'll have another Atlanta Falcons Tampa 2 video coming up relatively soon, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.